Good morning, everyone. Today I will present the cultural profile of China in the context of international business negotiations. China plays major roles in the global business and international trade, and many organizations around the world regularly negotiate with the Chinese partners. However, cultural difference can strongly influence the China negotiation strategies, communication style, and the decision-making process. In this presentation, I will analyze the China's cultural characteristic and explain how they influence the negotiation behavior. I will also provide a tactical strategy for negotiation efficiency with the Chinese business partners. China is one of the largest economies in the world and an important participant in the international negotiations. Cultural factors play a significant role in shaping how negotiations communicate, build relationships, and make decisions. In cross-cultural negotiations, misunderstandings may occur when negotiating will apply their own cultural assumption to another culture. However, understand the Chinese business culture can help negotiate, avoid conflict, build trust, and achieve more efficiency outcomes. So our goal is to analyze the Chinese culture's values, negotiation behavior, and explain how two factors influence the negotiation process. Chinese business culture is strongly influenced by the Confucius philosophy. Confucius value emphasize harmony, respect for authority, hierarchy, and social responsibilities. This value shape how individuals interact with the organization and in business relationship. For example, maintain the harmony and avoid open confrontation are important to cultural expectation. Relationship and trust, often referred as 关系, are also establishing the long-term business corporations. In addition, many Chinese organizations have hierarchy decision-making strategies. When senior leaders hold a significant authority, this cultural characteristic influences the negotiation behavior by encouraging relationship building, indirect communication, and long-term cooperation. So there's several cultural values influencing negotiation behavior in China. First is collectivism, where group harmony is often more important than individual interests. Second is guanxi, which is highlight the importance of building trust of relationships, shared means of faith. People try to avoid embarrassing others during the discussion. And finally, Chinese culture and is more preferred to long-term relationships, so companies often focus on long-term cooperation rather than short-term gain. To better understand these cultural differences, we can also use the hospital culture dimension therapies. According to hospital, China has a relatively high power distance. This means that the hierarchy and the authority is widely accepted in an organization. China also has a low individual compared with many Western countries. This reflects the characteristics, values, and emphasize group harmony and consensus. Another important dimension is long-term orientations. Chinese organizations often focus on long-term relationship and further cooperation. This cultural characteristic help our understand our negotiation behavior in China, maybe have a different from negotiation style in Western country. This chart shows the power distance scores of China, Australia, and United States. Chinese score is much higher, which means hierarchy structure is most common. In negotiations, this often means that the person in the meeting may not follow for decision-making authorities. Instead, they may need to consult with a senior manager before they finish an argument. So for the region negotiation, this is important for understand the organizational structure and show respect for senior decision makers. Communication style is another important factor in cross-cultural negotiation. Chinese negotiation often communicate more indirectly and may avoid expressing disagreement directly. Instead of saying no openly, they might just respond in a more subtle way or change the topic. Silence can also play the role in negotiation. Sometimes it simply means the other side is thinking carefully about the possible. Maintaining the harmony is positive relationship is useful more important than openly challenging the another parties. This communication style is often described as a high context communication style, which means that they spend more or context on the relationships. Because of this culture varies, negotiation behavior or in China may look a bit different from the Western negotiation expected. Negotiations often begin with a relationship building activity before the discussion specific business details. For example, inform the meeting on business dinner may happen before the formal negotiations start. Negotiation can also involve several rounds of discussion and both sides carefully involve the proposals. Negotiation teams may also need to consult the internal before the making final decision. Finally, concessions are usually made gradually rather than quickly. Based on these cultural characteristics, there are several strategies that can help negotiation work more efficiently with Chinese partners. During the preparation stage, it's useful to understand that the organizational hierarchy and identify the key decision makers. At the beginning of the negotiations, it's important to focus on the relationship building and the respectful communication. And during the discussion stage, negotiations should highlight the mutual benefits and the long-term cooperation. When making concession, it's useful so that it's moved gradually rather than making large concession too quickly. Overall, patience and the relationship building are very important in the type of negotiations. Another useful framework for analysis the negotiation difference is a Selyukos negotiation model. This model highlights how negotiation styles may vary across cultures. For example, Chinese culture negotiating culture tend to emphasize the relationship more stronger than many Western negotiations approaches. Communication may be more indirect, and the argument may sometimes be viewed as a flexible framework rather than strictly detailed contracts. In addition, Chinese negotiation often focus on long-term cooperation, whereas the Western negotiation may just priority efficiencies and the short-term outcomes. So, to conclusion, Chinese just negotiation culture emphasizes relationship, hierarchy, and long-term cooperations. Cultural concepts such as guanxi, coalition, and faith strongly influencing the communication style and the decision-making process. As a result, so negotiation processing in China often just involve relationship building, indirect communication, and the gradually concession. To negotiate efficiency with Chinese partners, for um, another party should just negotiate, should invest time in building trust, respect the hierarchy structure, and focus on the long-term partnership. Understand this culture dynamic can significantly improve cross-country negotiation outcomes. And this is my reference that I used. Thanks for watching my presentation. Bye.